So that's it. We made it. Tavern Talk.
Here
We
go.
made it. We are coming at you from Wayfarer's Rest in
Yes.
Silvermoon. We have we're a bit loud than the normal guests here. It's normally a kind of quiet tavern, but not anymore.
We do get pretty rowdy.
Yeah, but here we are. So the first thing I wanted to kind of touch on, I injected this topic a little late into the planning for this episode.
Happens.
The delve talk.
What did you want to hit on it?
How effective should they be?
Oh, effective.
How much
in
gear should
what
they
way?
give
Okay,
you?
gearing. All right. I don't know. What do you think? You start us off. You put it in there.
Well, we talked a little bit about in the video that we'll have linked. We talked about how he had an interesting focus on the progression from something like a delve and getting a really good vault piece, but only actually being able to get 606 actually out of it.
Yeah.
Right. And he talked about how it's having it be a part of the vault every week, get a heroic piece, is really, really good for the player base and things. And he likes the pacing of something like a delve. He did say they intend to keep it relevant, which, of course, we were hoping for. We'll see. He didn't bring any specifics about how he was going to do things like that, but he did say he wants to keep delves relevant, which is cool. I don't know, Nick, what do you want from a delve? Do you think you should be getting heroic raid gear from it? Do you think it's fine where it's at? Do you think they give you too much?
Overall, I think, because I know we made the point about the wanting of that on-ramp, that, as they called it, to be not entirely like, I could do delves and get the same gear level as Mythic. I think that's good. And the reason why is because they're adding in additional content that players, obviously it's endgame gearing.
Right.
But by giving us delves, if we got Mythic gear from delves and could go do everything we wanted to in Mythics, gear-wise, you and I could just go run them on the tank and the healer and be done.
Right.
Like, cool, we're geared. But then it forces us to go do what we've all known about Warcraft, the dungeons, the raids, that group content. So it's still forcing it to be what it is, an MMO, which is a key thing, I believe, as well. And so it's, for me, overall, good idea to keep it separate a bit. But I do like the fact that they are aiming to where that gearing can fall you onto the Mythic track. And that even whether it's Mythic, not Mythic rating, but you can get into rating with it, but Mythic plus system. And they even had a +4 to +6 range. Now, granted, I did like that they pointed out too, if you haven't done it, it's going to hurt. Going to be a bit strange. Totally true. First time you enter Mythics, it's going to be rough. But I think it's good what they're doing. I think it's good that they're keeping it relevant and not overstepping other pieces of endgame content with it.
Yep. And to be honest with you, this is kind of, I think, where it should end up somewhere in here.
Yeah.
I actually talked about how at some times, especially early on, like if you're gearing a bunch of characters early in the expansion, delves were awesome. Coffer keys were the bee's knees, right? So once you get past a certain level, once you start raiding, getting into the actual heroic loot tables and things like that, it begins to be a little irrelevant. I don't do many delves. It was kind of and the whole reason why I put it in there, put this topic in here, was because I wanted to talk about I like the dynamic and you can do a delve at your own pace, and if everybody wants to just chill, relax, crack the knuckles, stretch, it's okay. You can.
Well, and depending on what position you do too in Mythics, it becomes more stressed out the higher you go. And that goes down to, that's from my personal experience, that's not everybody.
Right.
It depends on the player and everything and how well they know their class. But healing tank, they stress me out even though I like to sit in those slots. It's a little more stress than DPS. But that's what I like about delves too, is that you keep it, there's no time frame to it, and it's still challenging, right? And we can go play. You and I can go do it. We can't get a 5-man or get into one. We'll go do delve. Why not? Just for shits and giggles.
So I thought they're pretty cool. I'm interested to keep doing them. The Bountiful Delves is cool. It keeps it fresh. You're rotating what delves you're doing. So.
Yeah, well, and it makes you want to go after those ones too, because you get the better loot.
So the next thing we were going to talk about was Undermine.
Yeah, which I'm pumped.
So do we have like any expectations? Is there
Like our own?
Yeah. I guess I'll start with my expectation.
Okay.
Better than Zarlek Cavern. So,
Yeah. So why do you open it with that?
because it doesn't, I don't know, we're in a cave in the ground, and it doesn't feel like it right now.
Right.
So I'm kind of a big fan of that. While Zarlek Cavern was
You felt
literally
it.
a cave in the ground, and it felt like it the whole time. Felt
Yeah.
like there was, stalagmites or tights or whatever they are hanging from the ceiling that would obstruct your flight, or you had to know a specific way to fly around to get to the spot because you're in a cave. It doesn't feel very open, right?
Right. Yeah. And I'm curious if they used, and this is just a guess, if they used Zarla Cavern as like a precursor kind of thing or a test bed to go into what we have now.
Yeah, I mean, I
That's
didn't
just a
like it.
guess. I don't know. I
But
I never
the
did
Niffin
anything
were
with
cute,
Zarla.
but I wasn't.
I hated the Niffin. They're
I like the
cute.
kobolds way more. The kobolds
Yes.
are way
They're cool.
funnier.
I think they're way better.
Yeah.
But anyway, expectations on Undermine. Not all content.
Um, I want it to. I don't know. I'm excited for this new mechanic. I guess
Yeah.
they have an impossible expectation with bringing in skywriting because it did a great work
Mhm.
of making that a good travel method.
Well, they did state in that interview too that it's just Undermine that we're not going to fly.
Yeah.
Wherever else we're
Yep.
going to, and
This
there
is this is
we're
a
going to fly. Yeah,
cute little fever dream test, right?
yeah. I think that they're going to use that new mount, buggy, car, whatever you want to call it, as a test bed in this area to see if they can't incorporate the new flying stuff with ground mounts. Because right now
Right.
you just get on a ground mount and that's it, right? So I
Right.
think
Well, what
that's
are they gonna do? Have you put wheels on your dragon? Like,
well, no. What I mean is like think about it. So when Warthen came out, we got all that dragon riding on all our old mounts, right? So now everybody's going to use all the old stuff, free will when they're flying.
mhm.
Awesome. So now if we are able, now what if they're able to take the sky riding and then attach it to ground mounts and then backdate it for all the ground mounts? That's what I'm talking about. So it's the same idea, just what
Well,
I
I
guess
think they have to
visuals and how
figure
we're
out
going to do.
right because having a horse run really fast and drift around is not really
Well,
super immersive.
right. No, I don't mean that the horses and stuff will drift, but I mean, for
You
instance,
get where I'm coming from,
no, I
right?
do, yeah.
It would
But
be hilarious though. Watching, the play the Tokyo Drift song as much as we legally can, right? And you have like a horse running around the corner. like, I don't think that's their vision of this project. I don't think
well, no,
they don't want all of us skirting around Azeroth.
no.
you know,
But like, what is the Mechanahog or whatnot? The engineering mount that I have that I like to use all the time on my Lions character. Like, I want that to be able to have the same version of skywriting. That would be cool if it could like
Right.
use it on the ground. But I don't know. I think that they're trying that out. And it may not. I'm using skywriting as a example, so that way there's a known product developed already. But I think they're trying to do something like that with ground mounts. I don't know if it's going to only apply to mechanical ones or horses, but
Right.
we'll see.
Skirt! Imagine a guy like you know, the most metal horse ever, bro, is be on the Death Knight horse mount and just be skirting.
Yeah.
Terrifying. He came out of nowhere, officer.
Do you know how fast you were going on that thing? So it's only a Pinto.
My death horse.
No, like, what is? I think the Pinto is one of the basic mounts from like the little humans, or a spotted Pinto, or I don't remember. But yeah, that'd be hilarious. How to drift a horse. Anyway, are we moving to the next topic?
Yeah, we did. All I really wanted to touch on is there's
Yeah.
a new dungeon, which of course we're gonna have to try and take a look at what it has.
I think that's
And
gonna be
then-
fun.
And then I'm interested to see where they go with the raid. They
Yeah.
talked about in the interview that there is an interesting stark difference between how serious of a character Xalatath is from how comic relief something like goblins are.
Yeah, I foresee a lot of fun comic relief, warranty voiding, somehow backstabbing other cartel type quests.
There's some really good. There are some really good jokes in here. There are some goblins that can say some goofy ass shit as they're dying.
I think goblins are some of my favorite NPCs, just because of like the weird finance and like love of gold, like just the way the goblins are. I think they're great.
The engineering, the obsession with engineering garbage, kind of.
They're like, oh no, you can buy this warranty for him, seeing him out, but then like have small like little legal loopholes in it that are like, oh yeah, actually it's nothing. Like, bye.
Yeah, don't buy goblin insurance. Let me put it that way. They never pay out.
But that's what I love about it. I'm really excited to see, like you mentioned, how they tie the seriousness of Xalatath with the complete comedic relief of goblins.
And we'll see. I'm interested to do it. They did. You have to get to a certain point in the main quest in order to be able to do that, and they did mention that you will. Excuse me. Sorry, the moon mist.
It's hitting hard.
It's good. So bubbly. But I'm interested to see where the raid fits into all this. Is when I'm kind of interested, because the dungeon boss they said was what's Rich Boy? I can't remember his name.
No, I think the raid boss was Galliwix.
Is it?
I don't think there was a wink wink nudge nudge type of line stated when they were talking about the raid, and then they showed Galliwix like directly after that, if I'm right.
Well, Galliwix is a boss. That's for sure.
Somewhere in there, Galliwix is a boss, but that was, I believe, in the 30th direct, not the interview we watched.
Right.
So check that out. You'll see what I'm talking about.
But still, part of my expectations is I'm interested to do the raid. I'm cool with Palace. I'm interested to see where we go.
Yep. Me too. I think it's going to be good. I have very good expectations with everything they've done when it comes to the Warthin, so I'm pretty excited to see how they're going to rate this and do it.
All right. So
M+ talk?
M+ time. It's M+ time.
Yep. I knew you wanted to get into this.
So what do we want from Mythic Plus? What do we expect? What is some things we think they could do better? What are some things they're doing well? I like the affixes.
Yeah.
I think the Kiss Curse is a really good move. It feels good.
Mm-hmm.
On my healer, I actually made the joke during the week that haste on a healer is kind of a double-edged sword. It's like, oh, you made me dump my mana. I can dump my mana faster. How cool. You know, that's why like a crit or a mastery or another buff would be better, yeah. But it does feel really good. Like when I play my mage and then other players have more abilities that do better work at CCing. I do have Cone of Cold, which I take. But that's it pretty much for AoE.
Right.
And so it's kind of but then it feels nice. It feels like I just, snorted a line of crack or something. Like I'm going now. Like you know what I mean? Like we're blasting, baby. So no, I specifically said that wrong. That wasn't that funny. We might have to cut some of this. We'll see how I feel about it.
No, keep it all.
I'm editing tonight.
Cut where you're talking right now. Keep it all. It's good.
And so I think the difficulty curve, at first I actually can be quoted saying that I think it's Challenger's Peril is the one at 7+, isn't it, the name of it? Where you get 15 seconds for deaths instead of 5?
Mm-hmm. Challenger's Peril's right. I don't remember when it comes in, though.
Well, it's at level, either way, when you get I believe it's at 7. I know that. But you get 15-second death timers instead of 5. That I would have told you a couple of weeks ago was the simplest, easiest to understand mechanic.
Yeah.
What I've come to think is they're trying to keep to this Kiss Curse kind of thing, in a way. And so it does feel kind of archaic and kind of like it's not real difficulty, it's just artificial. It's like we already have the timer. Now we're already stuck on the timer, which is another artificial tool. Now we have deaths are 5 seconds, which is another artificial tool. Wait, let's just turn it up to 10 on one of them. You know, it's like fake difficulty, kind of.
Well, I don't know if it's fake, but I think it just adds a level of expectation on the players that are doing that level of M plus. Um,
To make
it's
less mistakes.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you are getting more of a cream of the crop, so to speak, with
I
those
guess, yeah,
types
it
of
does.
players. So it
It does.
incentivizes better play and better understanding of what's going on in those dungeons. So I don't know if I'd call it artificial. I think it's more of a forced mastery. I don't
Well, let us know in
know.
the comment section down below how you feel about Mythic Plus. Yeah, we're not gonna do a comment response, but we do plan to do one in the next video. So make sure you leave your comments down below for us. We want to answer some questions. Just wanted to pile some up for a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're getting pretty excited. I like the comment episodes, but we're taking a week off. And so it's time for when everybody turns off the video.
Yeah,
It's
actually,
the last.
statistically, they do at this point when you talk about
Yep.
PvP.
Yep. And so it's that time, guys. Click away now. I'm talking about PvP. I'm talking about what I did on my mage and what I did on my evoker.
All right, well, I'm gonna go take a nap. Just kidding.
And that's the end of the Tavern Talk, guys. Nick, I was wondering if you would send us out.
Thank you for tuning in to another exciting episode of the Valley of Spirits. We're your hosts, Jordan and Nick, your go-to Horde players. Join us in Dornegal on the Mal'Ganis server. Look up our guild, the Electric Boogaloo, for some epic adventures. Stay connected with us on social media. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, or X as it is known these days, by searching the Valley of Spirits podcast. Don't miss out on an episode. Follow us on Spotify or anywhere you find podcasts. Check out our YouTube for additional content not found on the podcast platforms. And until next time, may your quests be glorious, your loot be plentiful, and next time Jordan will talk about his PvP. And as always, for the
For the Horde.